Are you an INFJ A or INFJ T? Is there a difference between INFJ A and INFJ T? It can be a very touchy subject. This video will be a comparison and contrast of the two. First, INFJ A is more intuitive and abstract in thought process. INFJ A is more intuitive and abstract in thought process than INFJ T. They are also more likely to use their intuition and imagination to think through problems. This makes them better at coming up with solutions that go beyond the typical thinking process. Their ability to see the big picture and take things into account makes them excellent leaders, counselors, and problem solvers. Second, INFJ A is more in tune with their feelings and emotions. INFJ A would likely be better off using their intuition and feelings more in order to make decisions. INFJ A are often introspective, and as such are more in tune with their own emotions and feelings than other types. They may find it difficult to make quick decisions based on logic alone, which is why it is important for them to use their intuition as well. INFJ A take time to process information, so if a situation requires a quick response they may struggle. In contrast, INFJ T is more analytic and rational. They may be better at taking the broad view of a problem and coming up with solutions. While both types can be great at problem solving, INFJ T may have a harder time getting down to the nitty-gritty details that are necessary for some tasks. Third, INFJ A is more sensitive to the feelings of others. INFJ A are often seen as the most sensitive type of personality. They are able to feel the emotions of others more deeply than any other type, which can make them great allies and compassionate friends. INFJ A, however, may find it harder than other types to let go of their own feelings. This can make them vulnerable and cause them to take on too much responsibility, especially if they don't have a strong support system. INFJ A should be careful not to become over-reliant on others and neglect their own needs. Fourth, INFJ A is more creative and spontaneous in their thinking. INFJ A is often seen as the most creative and spontaneous of all the Myers-Briggs types. This is likely because INFJ A are more in touch with their inner feelings and motivations. They are also more likely to be inspired by new ideas than other types, which can lead to them coming up with novel solutions to problems. Fifth, INFJ A has a greater ability to empathize with others. INFJs are one of the rarest personality types, making up only 2% of the population. This makes INFJs some of the most misunderstood and undervalued people in the world. INFJ A have a unique ability to empathize with others, which can make them great leaders and counselors. They are also often excellent at solving problems and finding solutions that work for everyone involved. INFJ A has a greater ability to empathize with others than INFJ T, making her more likely to be able to connect with people on an emotional level. Sixth, INFJ A has a stronger sense of self-awareness. INFJ T is more likely to be able to see the big picture. INFJ A is often seen as the most introspective and self-aware types. This can be a strength, as INFJ A are more likely to be aware of their own thoughts and feelings than others. However, this introspection can also lead INFJ A to become bogged down in their own thoughts and lose sight of what is happening around them. INFJ T, on the other hand, is better able to see the big picture. They are not as focused on their own inner world and can better see how events impact others. This ability to see beyond themselves makes INFJ T more effective leaders and problem solvers. Seventh, INFJ T is more decisive and organized in their thinking. INFJ T is often described as introspective, intuitive, and insightful. They are also known for their strong sense of values and ethics, which can often guide their decisions in life. INFJ T may be better suited for roles that require strong planning and organization skills, such as managers or administrators. INFJ T are able to make quick decisions based on their gut instinct and analysis, but they also take the time to thoroughly think through their options before taking action. This combination makes them natural leaders who can inspire others to follow their vision. Eighth, INFJ T is better at taking action and making decisions. INFJ T types are often seen as the masterminds of their households, as they are typically very good at taking action and making decisions. INFJ A are definitely better equipped to handle day-to-day tasks than INFJ T, who may struggle with initiating projects or taking on too much responsibility. However, INFJ T have a deep understanding of people and can be extremely insightful when it comes to problem solving. As such, they make great leaders and advisors. Ninth, INFJ T is less emotional and more objective in their thinking. INFJ T are often seen as the thinkers of the Myers-Briggs type indicator. They are more objective in their thinking and less emotional than other INFJ types. This can make them a great choice for jobs that require a lot of analysis and critical thinking, such as scientist, engineer, or attorney. On the other hand, INFJs may find it harder to relate to people who are more emotional than they are. As a result, they may not enjoy working in sales or customer service positions where there is a lot of interactivity with others. 10th, INFJ T is better at communicating their thoughts and ideas. INFJ T are often seen as being the most thoughtful and communicative Myers-Briggs type. They are typically excellent at communicating their thoughts and ideas, which makes them very effective leaders. INFJ T also tend to be good listeners, so they make great team players.